driveway DIY here. So as you can see from the clip at the start of the video, there's a bit of a squeak going on down the side of my auxiliary belts. I'm pretty much sure it's coming from that. Don't think it's the belts, I think it's probably more of a pulley. I don't think there's a risk. It seems to be intermittent. It's an old car, it's done nearly 100,000 miles, 20 years old. I think the pulleys that are on it are very much the original equipment pulleys from day one. I don't think anything's been replaced, no sign of a new alternator, it looks very old. No sign of a power steering unit or anything like that, so I think it's all the original stuff. So I have a squeak, and if any of you've got a Honda, you'll know how difficult it is to get down the side of the engine to try and look at the belts. Mine's got AC on it, so it's a 3-belt configuration. So the thing I'm looking for is a process of elimination, and these are the things that I've got to look at. So I've got obviously the alternator, so a belt will go from the crank to the alternator. I've got power steering unit, which is right at the top, so that'll be easy access. That's probably the first port of call for anyone who's looking for this sort of thing. I've got an AC pulley, that's down near the bottom of the engine. The alternator's at the back of the engine. If you get underneath the car, it's easy enough to get at. And I've got an idler pulley there as well, which is really deep in. So the problem I've got is very much an intermittent problem. Intermittent squeak tends to be on a real cold morning, especially now the winter's here. In the evening it's gone. Once the car's warmed up, it's gone. But I know obviously there's any sort of squeak like that is the start of a failure. So what I'm going to do, can't really show you from the engine, but I need to find it when the squeak comes back, which is usually on a cold morning, so I need to find out which one it is. So what I'm going to do is bit by bit, process elimination. Probably going to sort of, well, I don't think it's the belts, so I'll probably spray the belts with something. I have got, show you this, I've got belt dressing. This is what this is. It's called belt dressing. Don't think it will work. You spray it on your belt, it's supposed to quieten the belt, but I don't think it's the belt that's the problem. But what I will do is, because it's so early on, I might try spraying some sort of, like, I don't know, WD-40 or water dispersant or something like that into the pulley one by one, just to see if that makes a difference. Because if it goes, I mean, it won't get it away full stop, but it might be enough just to sort of quieten it down, and then to see if it comes back. So the first one I'll probably do is the power steering pulley, spray something into that and see if it quietens it down at all. I don't think it's the AC. Alternator, that's quite sort of exposed at the back of the engine, so that's more likely, probably more likely to fail than anything else. My sort of worry is this idler. There's an idler right deep down. My experience is it tends to be the idlers that tend to fail. So what I'm going to do is get some, I don't know, WD-40 and spray them bit by bit, and just to see if it goes away. If it doesn't go away, then I'm going to have to sort of dig a little bit deeper and probably try some different things. But the problem with Honda Civics is that this stuff is really difficult to get to unless you're prepared to jack up the car and work under a car that's running, which I don't particularly like doing. So if I can do it from the top, I will. But hopefully by doing it from this point, I can find out what the problem is. But my betting is probably going to be the idler. So this is probably going to be a 2-part series. This is just explaining to you about the belt configuration. So hopefully what I'm talking about is helping you. But it's definitely worth trying something like that first on your belts, just to see if that makes a difference. But with 3 belts and pulleys like that, it's difficult to quite find. So anyway, this is how the Honda Civic belt configuration is set up, and these are the things that you need to be looking at. Definitely won't be the crank. I can't see the crank squeaking like that. But the idler, that's deep down, that you probably can't even see from the top of the engine, or without taking their engine shield, or the wheel trim shield, wheel arch shield, if you want to call it, if you will. Taking that away, that might be their first port of call. perhaps see if you can give that a good spray and see if the squeak goes away, and then comes back once the lubricant is worn out. So hopefully if you're Honda Civics or anyone who's got some similar sort of cars, that this sort of configuration helps you, this diagram helps you, and see where we go from there. Thanks for watching.